Good day. I'm Janine Joy Kayabia from BSC2 Block 1. Our discussion for today is about the cell, the parts of the cell, and the function of the cell. The cell. In the biology, the basic membrane-bound unit that contains the fundamental molecules of life in which all living things are composed. A single cell is often a complete organism in itself, such as bacterium or yeast. Other cells acquire specialized functions as they mature. These cells cooperate with other specialized cells and become the building blocks of large multicellular organisms, such as humans and other animals. Although cells are much longer than atoms, they are still very small. The smallest known cells are a group of tiny bacteria called mycoplasmas. Some of these single-celled organisms are spheres as small as 0.2 micrometer in diameter. 1 micrometer is about 0.39 inch with a total mass of 10 to 14 gram, equal to that of 8 billion hydrogen atoms. Cells of humans typically have a mass 400,000 times larger than the mass of a single Mycoplasma bacterium, but even human cells are only about 200 micrometer across. It would require a sheet of about 10,000 human cells to cover the head of a pin, and each human organism composed of more than 30 trillion cells. These are the parts of the cell: the plasma membrane, nucleus and nucleolus, cytoplasm, channels, cell wall, cell capsule, the DNA, nucleoid, plasmid, endoplasmic reticulum, ribosome, Golgi complex, mitochondria, chloroplast, lysosomes, microtubules, pili, and flagellum. The plasma membrane. The cell membrane is a biological membrane that separates the interior of all cells from the outside environment, which protects the cell from its environment. The cell membrane consists of a lipid bilayer, including cholesterols that sit between phospholipids to maintain their fluidity at various temperatures. Nucleus and nucleolus is the largest structure in the nucleus of eukaryotic cell. It is best known as the site of ribosome biogenesis. Nuclei also participate in the formation of signal recognition particles and play a role in the cell's response to stress. The nucleolus is a region found within the cell nucleus that is concerned with producing and assembling the cell's ribosome. Following assembly, ribosomes are transported to the cell cytoplasm where they serve as the site for protein synthesis. Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a thick solution that fills each cell and is enclosed by the cell membrane. It is mainly composed of water, salts, and proteins. In eukaryotic cells, the cytoplasm includes all of the material inside the cell and outside of the nucleus. The channels. Transmembrane channels, also called membrane channels, are pores within a lipid bilayer. The channels can be formed by protein complexes that run across the membrane or by peptides. They may cross the cell membrane, connecting the cytosol or cytoplasm to the extracellular matrix. The cell wall. A cell wall is a structural bilayer surrounding some types of cells just outside the cell membrane. It can be tough, flexible, and sometimes rigid. It provides the cell with both structural support and protection, and also acts as filtering mechanism. The cell capsule. The bacterial capsule is a large structure of many bacteria. It is polysaccharide layer that lies outside the cell envelope. It is thus deemed part of the outlayer envelope of a bacterial cell. It is a well-organized layer or not easily washed off, and it can be the cause of various diseases. The DNA, or the deoxyribonucleic acid, it is a molecule that encodes an organism's genetic blueprint. In other words, DNA contains all of the information required to build and maintain an organism. Nucleoid. The nucleoid is an irregularly shaped region within the prokaryotic cell that contains all or most of the genetic material. The chromosome of a prokaryote is circular, and its length is very large compared to the cell dimensions, needing it to be compacted in order to fit. Plasmid. A plasmid is a small extrachromosomal DNA molecule within a cell that is physically separated from chromosomal DNA and can replicate independently. They are most commonly found as small circular, double-stranded DNA molecules in bacteria. However, plasmids are sometimes present in archaea and eukaryotic organisms. Endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is in essence the transportation system of the eukaryotic cell and has many other important functions, such as protein folding. It is a type of organelle made up of subunits, the rough endoplasmic reticulum and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The ribosome. Ribosomes are macromolecular machines found within all living cells that perform biological protein synthesis. Ribosomes link amino acids together in the other specified by codons of messenger RNA molecules to form polypeptide chains. The Golgi complex. The Golgi apparatus, also known as the Golgi complex, Golgi body, or simply the Golgi, is an organelle found in most eukaryotic cells. Part of the endomembrane system in the cytoplasm, it packages proteins into membrane-bound vesicles inside the cell before the vesicles are sent to their destination. Mitochondria. The mitochondrion is a double membrane-bound organelle found in most eukaryotic organisms. Some cells in some multicellular organisms lack mitochondria. A number of unicellular organisms, such as Microsporidia, Parabasalides, and Diplomads, have reduced or transformed their mitochondria into their other structure. The chloroplast. Chloroplasts are organelles found in plant cells and eukaryotic algae that conduct photosynthesis. Chloroplast absorbs sunlight and is used in conjunction with water and carbon dioxide gas to produce food for the plant. The lysosomes. A lysosome is a membrane-bound cell organelle that contains digestive enzymes. Lysosomes are involved with various cell processes. They break down excess or worn-out cell parts. They may be used to destroy invading viruses and bacteria. Microtubules. Microtubules are polymers of tubulin that form part of the cytoskeleton and provide structure and shape to eukaryotic cells. Microtubules can grow as long as 50 micrometers and are highly dynamic. The outer diameter of a microtubule is between 23 and 27 nanometer, while the inner diameter is between 11 and 15 nanometer. The pili. Pili is a hair-like structure associated with bacterial adhesion and related to bacterial colonization and infection. Pili are primarily composed of oligomeric pilin proteins, which arrange helically to form a cylinder. Flagellum. Flagellum, or plural flagella. Hair-like structure that acts primarily as an organelle of locomotion in the cells of many living organisms. Flagella characteristics of the protozoan group Microscoropia also occur on the gametes of algae, fungi, mosses, slime molds, and animals. The function of the cell. Cell provides six main functions. They provide structure and support, facilitate growth through mitosis, allow passive and active transport, produce energy, create metabolic reaction, and aid in reproduction. The structural and functional characteristics of different types of cells are determined by the nature of the proteins present. Cells of various types have different function because cell structure and function are closely related. It is apparent that a cell that is very thin is not well suited for a protective function. Bone cells do not have an appropriate structure for nerve impulse conduction, just as there are many cell types. There are varied cell functions. The generalized cell functions include movement and substances across the cell membrane, cell division to make nucleus, and protein synthesis.